On Tuesday, the President of the European Commission, José Manuel Barroso, received the President of the Swiss Confederation, Evelyn Widmer-Schlumpf. President Barroso took the opportunity to thank the Swiss authorities, police and emergency services, and especially the citizens of Valais for their efficient help and solidarity following the terrible Belgian coach accident in Sierre on the 13th of March. Following the meeting, President Barroso underlined the EU's expectations to put the bilateral relations with Switzerland on a new institutional footing, after the bilateral sectoral approach has clearly shown its limits. José Manuel Barroso expressed his satisfaction with the Swiss President's commitment to present proposals on institutional issues within the next few weeks. He also expressed his confidence that quick progress can be made on taxation of savings once the European Commission receives mandate from the Council. A few hours later, José Manuel Barroso met with Salva Kiir Mayardit, the President of South Sudan, a new country independent since July 2011. President Barroso underlined Europe's support to South Sudan's state building, stability and prosperity. He urged the authorities to continue their efforts to build a stable and lasting relationship with Sudan. He said both sides must show determination to find a negotiated solution to all remaining outstanding issues, in particular on citizenship, border demarcation and oil production. The European Union stands ready to work with South Sudan and international partners to assist in the consolidation of democracy, respect for the rule of law, good governance, and the fight against corruption. On Wednesday, President Barroso held talks with Bakir Izetbegovic, the new chairman of the presidency of Bosnia and Herzegovina. They discussed the country's European integration path. José Manuel Barroso welcomed the adoption of new state aid law and census law in Bosnia. But he said that further work needs to be done so that Bosnia can realize its European perspective. He also stressed that he expects progress regarding the implementation of the Sejdic-Finci ruling of the European Court of Human Rights. Later on the same day, President Barroso met with Igor Lukšić, Prime Minister of Montenegro. Discussions focused mainly on Montenegro's accession process to the European Union. President Barroso encouraged the Prime Minister to continue delivering further concrete results in key fields, such as the rule of law and fundamental rights, but also the fight against corruption and organized crime. Montenegro is in principle close to opening accession negotiations, concluded the President. On Thursday, José Manuel Barroso attended the second high-level conference on the multi-annual financial framework organized jointly by the European Commission, the European Parliament and the Danish Presidency. In his speech, he underlined the character of the EU budget as a budget to support the Europe 2020 strategy and to invest in growth and jobs. He focused on the European added value and key spending areas of the future budget, including the Connecting Europe facility to interconnect European infrastructure. He also announced that according to preliminary estimates, Member States' contribution to the EU budget could be reduced substantially following the introduction of a European financial transaction tax.
Our proposal for own resources, based on a financial transaction tax and a modernized VAT resource, would ensure a fair distribution of impact across Member States. It is also more socially equitable, in line with wider efforts to shift the tax burden away from labour and towards taxation, which is less detrimental to growth. And importantly, our proposals would reduce very substantial the Member States' GNI income contribution to the Union's budget. Some preliminary estimates suggest the reduction of this national contribution to the budget could be half, 50% of what could be without these own resources.
A few hours later, President Barroso traveled to Copenhagen, where he addressed the 5th European Summit of Regions and Cities. In front of local representatives from all over Europe, he stressed the importance of sustainable development and green growth in European cities and regions to overcome the crisis. He emphasized the key role that European cities play in realizing the EU 2020 targets for sustainable growth, jobs, investment, research, education and social inclusion. Furthermore, he called upon the leaders of the EU local authorities to take a stronger role to actively defend the European project.